Hello everyone, and it's happening! Well, I mean, more accurately, it's going to happen at some point in kind of like the long-term future, kind of far away, but, you know, in the general sense, you know, in terms of the grand scheme of the cosmos, it's happening, like, tomorrow! So that's, you may be asking, what is happening? Well, we've had a lovely post from Mr. Jeffy Boy himself. He doesn't mind if I call him that. They are definitely reinforcing the idea that they do want a map editor for Overwatch. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's really nice to see this actually be something that's still on their mind, something they're willing to tell us about, something they want in the public eye, and it just makes me really happy. Whenever I see something to do with a map editor, it just ignites an excitement within me. Hell, not even an Overwatch, you know, somebody walks past me on the street and goes, map editor, and apparently breaks it down, and I just go, oh, I just love editing maps. Maybe I should have become an architect. I feel like, is that the real life version of that? But no, this is very big because of one main line that is said in this post, and that is the magical words of "we believe heavily in user-made content." And I would have been surprised if this wasn't true. Blizzard are no fools, despite what you may think. They realize just how powerful giving the community the ability to do stuff like that is. It's the hinge upon which I made my argument that Overwatch will only be relevant many years down the line with an entire subculture of user-created modes, maps, every kind of thing under the sun, the Warcraft 3 effect. And to hear Blizzard confirm that they do believe heavy in that they understand that that is really a path to sustained longevity within a game like this, within a world like this, within Overwatch as a universe, as a set of characters and rules, that is really fantastic, because as I said back then, the potential is really unlimited. So many people, so many of you guys confirm that you love Overwatch, but you don't even play Overwatch, and that is magical. The fact that this world, this universe, these characters, the themes and settings are so appealing to people, so invigorating, that they want to see them represented in books, in movies, in shows, in other games. Hell, can you imagine various other genres of game, but with the Overwatch universe? It's something I've been thinking about recently, and this is actually something you could do with user-made content, with a map editor. Imagine an Overwatch real-time strategy game. Imagine you're top-down like in Age of Empires, like in StarCraft, and obviously StarCraft is a Blizzard game. They could actually make this happen with some in-house custom maps. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, you're top-down, you set it during the Omnic War, you have your little Omnics build a base, you make troops of Omnics, you have the hero units, which are the actual heroes in the game, and you have a straight-on army fight as a Overwatch type thing, but it's presented in a real-time strategy way. How fantastic would that be? Hell, you could end up having something like a political type game in Overwatch, something where you manage the movements of the world, a interface that's not too in-depth in terms of gameplay, but there's a lot of thought that goes into it. You move people around places, you pull the strings of maybe Talon, maybe of the Overwatch itself, maybe you control the mysterious eye company Sombra watches so much, and you play the almost Game of Thrones version of Overwatch. Obviously, this is really pushing the boundaries. This is really stretching harder than a melted rubber, but the potential is there. It really is. And if you give someone the tools, they will build it. That is the thing. Because the community is so massive and so creative, if you can imagine this would be cool in Overwatch, as soon as the community can technically make it, it will be made. Can you imagine the swarm, the absolute explosion of cool custom maps that would happen? I mean, again, it's the kind of stuff I said before, but that is entirely possible to create a custom game where that happens. So seeing Blizzard actually confirm this, say it again, reiterate that they want this user-made action to happen, to know that in 5 years' time, I could be playing Dota Watch, I mean, that tingles me in all the right places, does it not? Let's all tingle together. Let's forget I said that, actually. Christ, that's not something you ask a load of people on the internet. Oh, man. But no, is that not really cool? I realize, you know, not super in-depth talk today, but it's something that I just really wanted to bring up and reiterate, because it's something I'm really passionate about. Hell, I will be getting all over any potential map editor. I'll be doing a load of stuff with it, with you guys as well. In fact, honestly, let's say you have the ability to tinker with, edit, play around with Overwatch as a universe. What kind of mode, map, situation would you actually want to play? What kind of thing would you want to see? What would be your pitch for a user-made custom Overwatch scenario, mode, etc., etc.? How do you think the best way to use these characters would be? Because the thing is, I bet you so much that someone who likes Overwatch as a thing, but doesn't really like shooter would suddenly get the game if they could play Overwatch in many different ways that aren't that. Hell, even if we look at the role-playing community, imagine actually role-playing a Overwatch scenario, the goings-on, maybe a mission, maybe actually have that happen. That would be so cool, and so many people could get behind that. For me, I've got a very simple one, because this is one that I think we're not too far off from actually happening. And it's stuff where you mess with abilities between characters. We are on the verge of that being the next major breakthrough, because right now they keep adding new and new settings to the custom lobbies. We can have infinite ammo in guns, which lets McCree permanently fan the hammer, which is great on a hot day, and it's just fantastic fun. And these keep getting added, and each one that does, it makes me think we're getting closer and closer and closer to being able to actually mess with abilities on a cross-character basis. So imagine a game mode where you all play as Hanzo, you can only shoot arrows and climb, and every time your arrow hits someone or lands, a random AoE ability from any character is released. So your arrow lands, a Lucio ult spirals out from it, shielding people. Your arrow lands, a Reinhardt hammer down cracks out from it on the ground. How cool would that be? It's not crazy. You'd play it for an hour, have fun, and that would probably be cool. But the idea of a Hanzo arrow shootout where each arrow that hits the ground causes a random move to be fired, I think that could be a lot of fun. I really, really do. So yeah, generally I just see a lot of good stuff when it comes to this. I really do. And the potential for user-created Overwatch spin-offs is so high, so sought after, and knowing that it will happen, it's not just a, this would be cool, this would be good for the game, it is a, this is going to happen, and it is going to be awesome. That is something I think is worth me just getting excited at you about. It really is. The other thing I want to quickly talk about, because again, these are probably two things that together make kind of a full video's worth of content, is I'm very much a big fan for how Blizzard are currently going around balancing heroes and changing things, because previously they were very, very tentative, very slow, very almost timid when it came to making changes, and even then they only did slight tweaks, normally numerically, and it was just kinda okay. But recently they've started being bold, they've started making bigger changes, they've started playing around and seeing what works, using the PTR as a PTR, and they're almost using the Dota approach to balancing. And by no means is this something that Dota pioneered or anything, but it's a good example of it. Every major patch fundamentally changes how a lot of the characters play, gives them massively different power levels in different areas, changes their niche. You have a character that one patch is a support, and the next patch is a physical DPS, on the next patch is a utility stun-based character, and then on the next patch is a magic damage burst, and that's just in the same character based on changing their moves, just, you know, doing some little tweaks mechanically, numbers, adjusting some ranges and stuff, and just going under the hood and really having a play with things. And we're seeing this for the first time ever with Lucio. He's have his range shortened, he's having his damage amped up. Yeah, exactly. Somebody put his gun and went let's amp it up, which I think is great. He now does 160 damage to the head from a full burst. That makes him the highest DPS support outside of Zenyatta, and because his auras are now closer, you're gonna encourage a very rapidly different emerging playstyle of Lucio, where you get aggressive, you use your wall ride speed, you dart around, you dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge your way to victory, while actually hitting people, using your auras to support, but outside of that, you're focusing on being annoying, surviving, and actually getting kills. And that is such a fundamentally shifting gears way of playing someone like Lucio. And I think that is really, really cool. They've taken him from almost passive, aura is kind of there, is annoying, to more focused, aggressive, jumpy around, actually getting kills, helping the team in more bursts than just generally lightly all the time. And that is really, really cool. So I'm very happy with how they're currently going about balancing things, actually making genuine, real changes that alter a character in a more meaningful way and let it do things in a way it couldn't do before, that attracts new players to it, that gives you new options to work with, and it's a fantastic way of adding variety in a game with such a relatively small roster for now. You actually change the niche and the applications of a character and swap them around each patch, you know? I would love it if, you know, one patch down the line we have, you know, I love saying, you know, something where Soldier takes a back seat, is more of a support DPS with a little bit more battlefield utility, and then maybe a patch later he is full-on aggressive, massive damage, you protect him, you know? Take the same hero, god, I just really keep saying, you know, what the fuck is wrong with me? You take the same hero and you keep giving them these little flips, these little tweaks, these little under-the-hood adjustments that let them be played and operate in a different way, and that creates an exciting, changing meta, because doing something like Soldier's Gun does 2 damage less per shot, nobody gives a fuck. That either makes the hero unchanged or everyone stops playing him. That's not what you want. You want, air quotes, balance changes, the shake-up of the game, to fundamentally change how you play heroes, to open up new strategies. And it makes me really happy that Blizzard actually seem to be doing that with more frequency and with more oomph behind it as well. They're happy to try something, and if it doesn't work, oh well, but they do go for it, and that's very, very cool. So yeah, those are 2 things that I just kind of wanted to talk about that's been happening Overwatchy recently that make me happy, and I think we're all good. Yes, indeed. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you're liking this. But yeah, God, just seeing... I did it again, didn't I? God damn it, I'm so sorry. Just seeing how people are using new Lucio, how they're actually operating with him, and seeing it so diversely different from how he used to be, that is so exciting, and I want that for many more characters. I really do. Because to me, lore-wise, it represents a shift in gears, a shift in tactics implemented by these people on the battlefield, them actually modifying their own equipment, their own strategies, their own roles, and then that's represented in the balance in the players, in how you control them, and I think that marries really well. But oh, and I do want to quickly say at this point that Lucio is absolutely ridiculously potent right now. He is so useful in the right hands. He's a lot trickier to play, which yes is good, but the reward, oh, especially with that damage up, he's just so tasty. Oh, affirmatively. I will leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. Let's have another lovely discussion in those comments. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Oh, goodbye. You've been watching